You are watching a master work.
What's going on, friends? Sam Prentice back once again. Today I want to talk about something a little bit different to do with 3D printing. In fact, it's 3D printing scams. Currently on Facebook, there are a plethora of 3D printing scams taking place that damages not only manufacturers' reputations, but also scams you out of your hard-earned money. So this is actually a video that I've been wanting to make for some time now. This is the kind of scam that's been going on for years and years and years. And this one in particular happens to be a postage scam. So the setup is very simple. You're offered a free 3D printer. In this case, this was a Creality Ender 5 S1 and a Sonic pad. And the idea is you get into a conversation with someone that works at Creality, and they basically say they're going to send you this free of charge in return for a good review and perhaps some content where you post it on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all that kind of crazy stuff. That being the case, though, they do ask for one thing, and that's for you to cover the postage. And in this instance, they wanted $72 to ship from China to the UK. So what makes this scam particularly appealing is that you're getting for the mere $72, $800 or $900 worth of 3D printing equipment. Of course, this won't materialize, but lots of people are getting stung in this same way, and the only person that's really profiting out of this is going to be the scammer. So I'm starting to see this type of scam more and more on Facebook, and certainly when a manufacturer releases a new product, of course, that's when people kind of go a little bit crazy, perhaps a little bit thoughtless on exactly what they're doing, and parting with that kind of money. So for some, certainly becomes quite easy, but there are a number of people out there that are struggling, and, well, we've got to make sure that this is stopped. Luckily for me, and luckily for the scammer, I was actually working with Creality on this one. But, of course, it's not just Creality that this affects. It affects every 3D printing manufacturer that has a group online. And I can certainly tell you now, this particular scammer was not happy the fact that I outed him. So the scammer's name in this case is Jinling Yang. It makes it ever so complicated because also that person is friends with somebody that does actually work at Creality. Also, the same name is also someone that posts on the Creality Deutschland Facebook group as well. Not to be confused with this particular one, but this is where things do start to get a little bit fuzzy. We start this off, of course, by saying, "Hi, I saw your ad about the Ender and Sonic pad." This person then asks me, "Hello, can you make a review on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook group?" I put back, "Yes, I can. Let me know what you need." This person then says, "Can you make a review on both of those accounts?" "It's free to review. We can send it to your address if you're able to give us the review. You only need to pay for the shipping cost and to confirm your order." I said, "Okay, so how much is it going to cost to ship to the UK?" "Shipping cost is $72, only for printer and Sonic pad. That's on standard delivery. You'll also receive the printer within 3 to 5 working days and after you've confirmed the order." "Okay, so you just need some videos on social media," I say. "Is there any other products that I can test?" "Yes, reviews should be positive only," is what this person said, "and only will work with you after you finish this one." I said, "Amazing, how do you pay?" And I said, "You do work for Creality, right?" "We will only send it to your home address," this person responds with. "The only way that they do it is via Visa, PayPal, and Payoneer." I said, "Okay, no issues, I can pay via PayPal." And they said, "Yes, we do work for Creality in the EU." I said, "Oh, right, whereabouts? How long will the shipping take?" "Shipping will take 3 working days after we confirm the order." I said, "Great, how do I pay?" They asked me where do I want to pay the shipping costs. I said, "Well, PayPal ideally." And the reason I wanted to go with PayPal is because obviously I wanted to make sure I got my money back if I was defrauded. They then give me an email address, which is apparently for their PayPal, which it actually is a real email address, but it's not a Creality email address. And remember, if this was to be a real thing, you would expect it to be an email that's linked to the company, so whatever the manufacturer might be. And always ask for that. There's a good tip there, I think. One of the best tips that you can probably do if you're going to be working with somebody, they're going to have an official email that's going to be linked to the manufacturer. So at creality.com and anycubic.com, whatever.com is really what you want to see. And if that person is not willing to give that information, well, highly likely that it's probably a scam. And we'll come on to that later. So I show them that I'm going to pay, and I put their email address in. Obviously, I'm not going to pay. I knew that this was a scam already. Then they asked me to send them a screenshot after it's been paid. So I've told them it's paid. I then go offline for a little bit just to sort of make that kind of feel like a bit of a ruse and see how keen they are. So then I went back and said, "I've just got a message to say this was a scam. Can I ask you then to email me from your Creality email?" They ask me, where did I get this message? And do you have proof that it's a scam? They then say, if you don't need it, then that's okay. But you shouldn't call it a scam without proof. We got the proof. Don't worry about that. So they then send me a couple of photos of what's probably another one of their accounts where they've been sent another Creality printer, the Naomi Wu 3D print mill. I said, okay, so email me now from your Creality account. He then sends me a picture. Now, this picture's been doted around quite a bit on Facebook, and if you do a search for it, you'll find it. I, at this point, then reached out to one of my contacts at Creality. In fact, I fact-checked this whole thing all the way through the process. Thank you to the guys that have been involved with this, because it's just great to be adding this kind of content to my sort of structure on YouTube, and making sure that you guys aren't getting scammed. So thank you guys for that. It then says, free trial isn't included on our official email. If it's a scam, then I wouldn't accept it to a PayPal account because I have protection also. Okay, generally you would have protection, but if they have shipped something, then there's no going back on it. And plus, once you get past 80 days, then there's nothing, very, very little that you can do at that point. I said, okay, then in that case, I'll speak to a couple of my contacts at Creality and make sure you're on the team. They then said that those other people that I know already work in China, and this person works through the EU warehouse. So we move on a little bit. I then go on to explain that I'm a professional reviewer and that Creality and I actually work together already. So, yeah. The scammer then says to me, if I don't get the printer within 3 working days, then I can then call him a scammer. The messages go back and forth a little bit more, basically just saying about, is it a scam? Is it not a scam? Have I made payment, etc., etc. I asked them to send in an email again. Again, they don't reply always to that. They said, send me a screenshot of your email within 24 hours because today I'm out. No problem, I can email you. Official email doesn't log in from my personal phone. He needs to do that from the PC. I said, okay, well, I'll wait until you're back then and let me know what time it is there. Now, assuming that this person's in the EU, at the time of me sending these messages, it probably would be around about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. He then comes back with, I didn't say I stayed in the EU. I work for Creality in the EU. I was like, oh, okay, then fair enough. They then asked me again for the payment screenshot. I then say again, well, I'm sorry, but you're a scam artist. And I said a very bad one because I wanted to rile him up a little bit. The screenshot that he sent me of somebody else that actually had a 3D printer apparently sent to them, I then sent him a screenshot of the person because I managed to find them online, of course. I said, it's all part of the scam. And I said, I'm coming for you because I just wanted to rile him up a little bit more. He then says he's funny. And I said, I'm going to take him down. And we did take him down. Wait for this, wait for this. He said, then you should prove me, right? I am not a scammer. You are a scammer. And I put laugh out loud. And he says, because you play with me. I said, I'm just wasting your time so you're not wasting other people's time. He then says, you don't work for Printer. I said, well, it's embarrassing. He then calls me a liar because I've not sent him the screenshot that I said I've already done. I didn't pay him any money. I did lie to him, though. He's a scammer. I then tell the scammer that I'm a content creator and I'm actually doing a video and he's part of that video. He then asks me to prove that I'm a content creator. I decide not to do that, although the video obviously will be coming out and that's what you're watching now. I then decide to go back to a couple of contacts at Creality and give them all the information that I've managed to retrieve from this particular person. The first one says, judging from his work badge, he should not be on Facebook. He then told me that it's fake and should not be trusted. And this is from Creality, by the way. I then find some more information on this guy's email and find out that he's actually been doing this for the last couple of years. Same kind of setup. I email another person at Creality just to double check everything. Yeah, do not reply, do not reply, do not reply, they've said. It's definitely a total scammer. He then replies with some of the most obscene language that I've ever heard because at this point he knew he was dead in the water at this point. I can't even repeat it, but he's blocked me now. So it is what it is. So this is what I'm going to ask you guys for. Please, if you can, and if you see this type of content online, make sure that it's reported to Facebook. Make sure that it's also reported to the admins of that particular group. And please, if you will, share this video to as many people as you possibly can to make sure that they're aware that these scams are taking place and we will not tolerate it.
You're watching a master at work.